Going to battle might not come back.
When the boots hit the ground, you can't stop us now. The prophets in your town, we here to shut it down. When the boots hit the ground, when them boots hit the ground, all sinners should stop now. When them boots hit the ground, you can't stop us now. The prophets in your town, we here to shut it down. When them boots hit the ground, when them boots hit the ground, all coolness should stop now. When them boots hit the ground, you can't stop us now. The prophets in your town, we here to shut it down. When them boots hit the ground, when them boots hit the ground, all sinners should stop now. When them boots hit the ground, you can't stop us now. The prophets in your town, we here to shut it down. When them boots hit the ground, when them boots hit the ground, all coolness should stop now.
It's time for the war cry. It's time for the war cry. Soldiers of the Most High, bring in the war cry.
You got a question, my brother?
I just was asking, I know today's not the Sabbath, but I was wondering if just extra material for the brothers or just
Yes.
education?
Give me the byways and highways. This is what the Most High got now. The Sabbath is a day of rest. But God says it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath. The reason we go in the streets on the Sabbath is to wake the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But I'm going to show you in Hebrews 10 that it's a law to congregate. But right now, your question is this extra? It ain't the Sabbath. Why are we out here? This is why.
The book of Luke, chapter 14, verse 23. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and the hedges.
Go out where?
Into the highways and the hedges.
Read.
And compel them to come in.
And compel them. We are here to compel our people to come in. So we're gonna do it 7 days a week. Right now we're actually holding a 30-day straight camp. 30 days we've been out here. This is day 22. What is your name, brother? Yorash. Nice to meet you. My name's Officer Cornelius. Now, do you know who you are? Something tells me you do.
Yeah, I'm from the tribe of Israel. I'm from Israel.
You're from the nation of Israel, from the tribe of
I
Judah.
have my head shaved with some transgression. Somebody else. I don't have my friends in there. I've been there for like since 1989. East Coast, far from that, 12 tribes from Israel. Psalm 1959.
So you've been an Israelite since 19 what? 1989. Wow, that's like 26, 27 years?
12 tribes. House of David.
House of David?
Yeah, he started off there.
I understand. Now,
Transgression, but I said I'm in transgression right now. But I just came over to ask what was going on.
all praises. But listen, bro, I appreciate your honesty. Okay? And it looks like you want to get your life right. Let me read you a scripture real quick.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 59.
Bring it out!
I thought on my way
You've been thinking on your ways since 1989. Read.
and turned my feet unto thy testimonies.
Uh-huh.
I made haste.
I mean what?
I made haste.
You know what that means, right? Yes, yes, read.
And delayed not to keep thy commandments.
Now, this is not an attack. But my question to you, my brother, are you been just slowly growing in the spiritual walk that before you didn't realize about, maybe you didn't know about the fringes back in 1989? You see what I'm saying? I know a little bit of the history, but now that you know, how long have you been knowing that you've been actually been able to prove it yourself that this is God's commandments? How long have you known about the fringes?
It's been a while.
So it's been a while.
Yes. We found out about 2, 3, maybe 4 years ago. But 4 years ago. We learned in part, we grow in part. Yeah, we understood in part.
So do you congregate with anybody? Are you learning with anybody now?
Yeah.
With who?
There's no name to the congregation. It's just Hebrew Israelites.
But it's a group of people. Yes. Okay, good. Read.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 10 and verse 25. Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, insomuch the more as ye see the day approaching.
So good. You're not forsaking the assembling. That's good, my brother. Now, are you guys compelling the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This chart right here, do you guys follow this chart?
Yeah.
You do?
The nationality of Israel, who the nation of
Yes, all praises. So, I know you said it doesn't have a name, but the body of people that you fellowship with, what are some things that you guys follow?
The Sabbath, we just did the Feast of First Fruit. Pentecost? The Pentecost, we just did that. We've been following all of this. The name of the congregation by name is Hebrews of California, because Most High does not have a specific name for any Hebrew Israelite tribe. There's no John's 12, there's no 12 tribes. What I understand, we teach the different, or Hebrew Israelites, there's no specific name for anything. You can help me on that.
No, listen, there's no specific name. Listen, the scripture talks about the 7 churches, right? Now, Most High God's only content with the church of Smyrna and the church of Philadelphia. Now, yes, in Revelations. Israel united in Christ, we're Bible-based. It's thou saith the Lord. No multiple wives. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of you believe in the multiple wives?
I was raised like that, yes.
Do you practice that now?
I don't practice it, but am I okay with it? Keeping it simple? Yes, that's the way I was raised up in the truth.
Do you have multiple wives now?
No, I do not. I've never had that. It was always, you had to be able to finance them. And under the conditions that we're living under, captivity, I don't have that type of establishment to have multiple wives.
But do you condone that? Are you okay with that?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay, may I ask why?
Because of the teachings that we was brought in, taught, our patriarch,
Do you believe in Jesus Christ?
Yahweh Shah.
Yahweh Shah. You can call him Yahweh Shah. You can call him Jesus. You can call him whatever you want. We'll get into that right now. I don't want to talk about too many things. Let's talk about Christ. Listen, you can say Yahweh Shah. You can say Yehoshua. You can say whatever you want to say. Jesus Christ. I speak English. In English is Jesus Christ. I also speak Spanish. It's Jesucristo. So, listen, if I'm keeping the commandments, he hears me. John 9:31 says, he does not hear sinners. He doesn't say he doesn't hear if you call me this name or that name. But anyhow, listen to this.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 2. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife.
How many wives?
His own wife.
Read.
And let every woman have her own husband.
Now give me Matthew, what is it, 19?
Bring it out.
19:5, 19:4. Now, the reason I ask if you believe in Christ is because a lot of people uphold the Torah of Moses' writings. Now, we're going to go to Deuteronomy 18:18. Let's find out who Moses talked about that we were going to have to eventually listen to, and that's Jesus Christ. But read this.
The book of Matthew chapter 19 and verse 4. And he answered and said unto them, have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female, and said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife.
Spell the word wife.
W-I-F-E.
There's no S at the end?
No, sir.
Wife. Keep reading.
And they twain shall be one flesh.
Twain shall be one flesh. Give me Deuteronomy 18:18.
Bring it out.
It's very simple, brother. It's very simple. Now, a lot of brothers read Isaiah, what is it, Isaiah 4. It says, in that day, 7 women will take a hold of 1 man. That's future prophecy, brother. We're not leaving. As a matter of fact, we can go even deeper. Most brothers that have multiple wives make their wives take care of them. The Bible says that the man should provide. They violate that law in itself. But read that. Deuteronomy 18:18.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18 and verse 18. I will raise them up a prophet among their brethren.
Who is that talking about? Yahweh Shai, yes.
Like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him.
Now give me Matthew 17 and 4. Now we're gonna, hold on, let me just read the scripture. Because we just read, Moses was talking about Yahushua, right? Okay? And he says, if whoever doesn't listen to him, I will require it, right? Let's find out what God said about Christ. Read.
The book of Matthew, chapter 17 and verse 4. Then said Peter and said unto Jesus, Lord, it is good for us to be here. If thou wilt, let us make here 3 tabernacles, one for thee, and one for Moses, and one for Elijah. While he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud which said,
Who's talking right now? The voice.
the Father.
Yes. Let's find out what the Father said about Jesus Christ. Or Yahushua.
And behold, a voice out of the cloud which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased.
Read.
Hear ye him.
Hear ye who?
Hear ye him.
Now we just read what Christ said. Twain shall be one flesh. So we got to go off of what Christ said. Now, brother, do you understand that?
Yes, but I have a question.
Yes, what's your question?
Can you show me where he discontinued the multiple wives?
Where he discontinued. Now, let me ask you this. Our forefathers, like Moses, Abraham, there's only maybe, what, 5 or 6 brothers that are registered that had multiple wives. Now, let me ask you a question. Why was it permitted for them to have multiple wives?
I know with Jacob, which became Israel, to populate, it was to grow the nations. And each son was to become a nation. I know with Abraham that Sarah was to be a surrogate to conceive through, not Sarah, excuse me, Hagar. Let me correct myself. Hagar, excuse me. Hagar.
Ishmael's father.
Ishmael's, but that was between Sarah and but that was his maid. He owned her, and that was more proper.
And Moses, he was away from his own land.
And he needed to.
You see what I'm saying? So there, it's registered on why certain cases were, I'm going to use the word permitted, per se. But nowadays, does that make any sense nowadays? Because listen. God says, give me Malachi, I change not. Because you want an actual scripture where it talks about you cannot have multiple wives from now on. That doesn't exist, brother. We just read Deuteronomy 18:18 that a prophet was going to be sent. We were going to hear him. Now, Christ, we heard the Most High say, this is my beloved Son. Hear ye him. That overrides the multiple wives teachings that are going on, brother. You're not going to find a scripture that says you can't have multiple wives from this day on. For this reason, that reason. No, brother. It is the perversion of man. It is just spirits. What's that? Yes, the husband of a wife. Read that. But read this.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 3, in verse 2, or verse 1. This is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth a good work.
You know, a bishop just talking about a leader in Israel, right? Read.
A bishop then must be blameless.
Must be what?
Blameless.
Now it's going to show you a way to be, many ways to be blameless. Read.
The husband of one wife.
What?
The husband of one wife.
I know you yourself don't roll like that, but you're okay with that. You see what I'm saying? Finish. What's that?
Now on that verse, this is what was taught to me by a brother. I won't say no. That verse was explaining in order to take that position, he needed to be married. That's just saying to be married as of at least one wife. Can you help me with that?
But is it a commandment to get married?
And a commandment to...
Are we supposed to get married? Is it a commandment? You must get married.
I can't say, yeah, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. Paul even said no. Because Paul even said it would be nice, but if you could be like me, it'd be good. But he never,
I'm going to get to that. No, it's not a commandment.
Okay, good.
It's not. For example, it's like, see that brother right here in the corner? He's with a law. You cannot be with the other nations. That's a commandment. Did you know that? And that brother knows that. He's been walking by here these past 3 nights. And we've been dealing with this brother, but the brother don't want to hearken. The book of Isaiah says that whoever is found with him is going to be thrust through. So, but listen.
What about be fruitful, multiply?
Test, 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 test.
Test. Okay. Now, is it a commandment that you must be married? Because you said it was told to me that meant this, and that. Say that again, what you said.
That verse that you just read was, that verse was explaining that in order to be a bishop, you had to have a wife. So I would guess you have to be married.
So therefore, it must say that must be registered what they just said somewhere in the Bible, right? That they must have a wife. Can you find that?
Bring it out. No, I can't.
So, let God be true and every man a liar. The only reason God says, give me that in. Give me 1 Corinthians 7, burning. 1 Corinthians 7, you know what I'm talking about?
Bring it out.
Yeah, give me 1 Corinthians 7. Listen, we're going to go into marriage.
Bring it out.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 1. Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman.
Read.
Nevertheless, to avoid fornication.
To what?
To avoid fornication.
Read.
Let every man have his own wife.
So it's just to avoid fornication. It wasn't mandatory that you must have a wife to be a bishop. So what they're teaching you, you can't find that in the scriptures.
Bring it out.
Unless you got something that says otherwise.
I know in Genesis, I'm trying to think, I'm trying to call him out as good.
Google it. Break out your phone, brother. While you find that, he's going to read this.
Verse 8. I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry.
So how was Paul? He says that abide as I. How was Paul?
Paul was, I believe, Sullivan, right? Was he Sullivan? That's eunuch. Yeah, eunuch. That's.
So wasn't he a bishop?
I don't know that, brother.
Yes, he was.
Okay.
He wrote this. This is his epistles.
Okay.
So what they're telling you, brother, is false. You can't find that anywhere in the scriptures. Besides, we just read multiple scriptures from Yahweh Shai. Says, twain shall be one. Give me that in a man and a woman that agree together in Wisdom of Solomon. Sirach. Give me that. Check this out. Yeah, let me read this and then I'm going to let you chime in, brother. What was your name again? Yorash. Check this out.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 25, verse 1.
Bring it out.
In 3 things I was beautified and stood up beautiful, both before God and men. The unity of brethren.
The unity of brethren. Read.
The love of neighbors.
The love of neighbors. Leviticus 19. Read.
A man and a wife that agree together.
A what?
A man and a wife that agree together.
A man and a wife. Yes, one-on-one. Brother, this is not rocket science. In the kingdom, then it's going to be popping. But right now, we're not in the kingdom. Whose kingdom is it right now?
It's Esau, the devil's king.
Yes. That's why in 2nd Ezra it says that's the end of their world. Then it's ours, the one that follows. Once that happens, listen, the Most High got, for the 144, he got a lot of great things prepared. But right now, we can't get taken with these doctrines, brother. Because, I'm going to be honest with you. Say I was a whoremonger in the street, right? Say I was always a whoremonger. And somebody showed me this truth. And they're like, you can keep on being a whoremonger. You can keep on having multiple. I'd be like, where do I sign? What change is there? There's no change. I'm still a whoremonger. You understand what I'm telling you? It makes no sense. What you got? Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 17, verse 17. Neither shall he multiply wives to himself.
Now you know this law, right? Neither shall he multiply wives to himself. Read.
That his heart turn not away.
That is what?
That his heart turn not away.
Now, we know King Solomon had multiple wives, but he had other nations. But regardless, the wives is what made him go north. Is what made him sin. Wives. Yes, they were from other nations. They were worshiping other gods. But nevertheless, he had multiple wives. Is there more?
That's it.
Now, what was your question?
Now, in Genesis it says that man should not be alone. It's not good for man to be alone. So he created Eve, right? Isn't that, and he said, you are now, Adam said, you are now flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone.
Genesis 2?
And she took his last name, which is man, man, because he opened up to, isn't that a marriage right there? Would that be sign of condoning marriage, to make it a, how can I say, woman's purpose was to be a man's helper.
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to equate that with that being the sign of marriage. Man and woman should be married.
Right, but remember, there's still a covenant, there's a token, a bill, a paper that you have to produce too. You know that, right? You know that, right?
No.
Give me that in Tobit 8, Tobit 7 or 8. Because you're going back to Genesis. Wasn't that a marriage when God took, Eve out of his rib and this and that? I'm going to tell you straight. Adam named all the animals of the earth, and he also named his rib. He's like, you shall be called woman. So that's deep right there. But it's more than just calling somebody your rib or your wife or by her first name. You have to produce paper. You have to read.
The book of Tobit, chapter 7 and verse 12.
It's very important. Are you married with one wife?
Yes, I got one.
You have papers?
No, because we was taught that marriage is when you humble the woman and then you enter and consummate it. That's a marriage through God's eyes.
Hold that. Give me Exodus 22:16. Yes. Yes, that's right. But we're going to go back to Tobit. Yes. From that point on, because we were whoring out our sisters. That's why it says, do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore. So yes, Moses was teaching us, listen, if you're going to go out there and be a whoremonger, you're going to marry that woman. So read that.
The book of Exodus, chapter 22, verse 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
He shall surely endow her to be his wife. Meaning they got to go get that covenant, that paper. That's what that's talking about. Now we're going to prove it out of Tobit. Read.
The book of Tobit, chapter 7 and verse 12. Regel said, then take her from henceforth according to the manner. For
according to what?
According to the manner.
He's going way back according to the manner. Read.
For thou art her cousin, and she is thine. And the merciful God give you good success in all things.
Now the merciful God is going to give them success in all things if they do what we're about to read. Read.
Then he called his daughter Sarah, and she came to her father, and he took her by the hand.
Just like you see nowadays, walking her down the aisle, giving her away. Read.
And gave her to be wife to Tobias.
And gave her to be what?
And gave her to be wife to Tobias.
Read.
Saying, behold, take her after the law of Moses.
Where is Moses written?
The first 5 books, right?
Read that part again.
Behold, take her after the law of Moses.
Which we just read in Exodus.
And lead her away to thy father. And he blessed them. And Edna, his wife, and took paper.
And took what?
And took paper.
And took what?
And took paper.
Read.
And did write an instrument of covenant.
And wrote an instrument of covenants. That's the paper. I'm going to tell you straight. It's to our benefit. First of all, it's a commandment. Second of all, it's to our benefit. Because I'm going to tell you straight. Esau's world, if you don't have a significant other on paper, she's not a beneficiary. So it's to your benefit. Do you plan on leaving her one day?
No.
So why wouldn't you want to get that paper, that covenant?
You would. I'm going to ask you this, my brother. Are you saying to, how can I say, make it official through Esau's,
Romans 13.
through Esau's legal system? How about that?
Whose world is it right now?
It's Esau's.
Okay. Do you have a driver's license?
Yes.
Why?
Because we're under authority, we must submit to authority.
And it's to your what?
Benefit, not
Bring it out.
Yes. Read
Bring
this.
it out.
The book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
That's not it.
I think it's 4. 13.
Oh, I'm in Acts. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Romans 13:1.
Bring it out. Bring it out. Peace. Up.
The book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers.
We know, it's going to explain itself. We know that there's no higher power than the Most High God. We know that, right?
Yes.
But who's the higher power right now?
Esau.
Read.
The powers that be. Excuse me. For there is no power but of God.
Read.
The powers that be are ordained by God.
That's right.
So listen, they say you got to have a covenant, you got to have a paper, hey, and as a matter of fact, give me Matthew 17, where Christ says, because of your hard hearts, he led you a bill of divorce. You know what I'm talking about? So think about it. A bill of divorce, for you to give somebody a bill of divorce, has to mean what?
That you hate him? Or don't
No.
with him?
To give somebody a...
Oh, you'd have to have one officiated in the beginning.
Yes, you must have had a marriage certificate. You can't give somebody a bill of divorce if you weren't married to them.
Yes, I agree with that. Okay.
Make sense?
Bring it home.
Did you find that?
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
You got any more questions?
No, that was real good.
So, brother, you gotta go out there. You gotta come out from among them. Come out. What is it? First course. Yeah, come out from among them.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
Matthew's 19:8, real quick, because I know you understood what I'm talking about, but this is heavy, man. Sometimes we read it and it goes right over us. We gotta let it sink in. Read that.
The book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse 8.
Bring it
He
out.
saith unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts.
Because we were what? We were negas and negatinos.
Whoa.
Okay, the hardness of our hearts. Read.
Because the hardness of your hearts suffered you to put away your wives. But from the beginning it was not so.
Whoa.
And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committeth adultery.
Committed adultery for any other reason. That's not the one that says covenant of divorce, but that's fine. Give me that in Revelations. Come out from among them. So the brothers that you're teaching, that you're learning with right now, they're not teaching you according to the scriptures, my brother. Because we just went over something that it might seem harmless. It might seem like it's really not that big of a deal if a brother chooses to have multiple wives, or if another brother chooses not to.
Bring it out.
You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's all about eternal life.
Right.
It's all about dwelling in power and being part of the 144,000.
Bring
You
it
see what
out.
I'm saying? That's what we're shooting for.
Right.
And let's say that we were wrong. We're not, because we're going off the scripture. But let's say we were wrong, right? And we could have multiple wives while we're here on earth. So what? So what? I can barely handle one.
Bring it out.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I can barely afford one.
Right. Right.
And then I'm gonna have different wives, different kids, different children. You see what? That's confusion, brother. That's confusion.
I need your help. I need your help with this one. A brother brought this out, and I didn't go into my studies, but now that you're here, I want to bring to you. He used the metaphor where the Most High says, I am married to two wives, the northern and the southern kingdom.
Give me Ezekiel 37, verse 22.
Bring it out.
This is talking about out of two, he shall make one. It's talking about southern kingdom. You know who southern kingdom is, right? Levi, Judah, Levi, and Benjamin. Okay. So maybe this is what you're talking about.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 37 and verse 22.
Bring it out.
And I will make them one nation in the land upon the mountains of Israel. And one king shall be king to them all.
Christ, read.
And they shall be no more two nations.
Read.
Neither shall they be divided into two kingdoms any more at all.
Read.
Neither shall they defile themselves any more with their idols, nor with their detestable things,
That's just talking about Southern Kingdom, Northern Kingdom, brother. That's, what's that?
That's nothing to do with no marriage or.
No, brother. No, we are the groom. He's the bride. It talks about that in Revelations. But that's listen, the Bible talks in metaphors, allegories, similitudes. It talks about a dragon, talks about, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, it talks about that the 144,000, they got to be virgins. Is that really talking about not having had intercourse? No. Not defiled with the other nations. Not defiled with religion. With politics. That's what that's talking about. So sometimes certain brothers read that. That's how you get doctrines.
The book of Revelations, chapter 18 and verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying,
Read.
Come out of her, my people.
Come out of her, my people. Read.
That ye be not partakers of her sins.
Because that is a sin. You can only have one wife right now. Come out of her, my people. Read.
And that ye receive not her plague.
That nuclear fire is part of the plagues. 2/3 of Israel is gonna get toasted. You see what I'm saying, my brother? So, is that it?
For her sins have reached unto heaven,
Read.
and God hath remembered her iniquities.
Right now, we're under the grace. Right now, the Most High God, think about it. We're at the end. Well, nobody knows for sure, but it feels like we're at the end of the 400 years. Okay? We're at the last days, right? So, don't you think the Most High God and the angels and Christ, don't you think they're like, man, I want to get my hands on Esau. You see what I'm saying? He's ready to come back. So right now, he's bringing the prophets back to teach on the streets. So we can bring the people that are meant to come in. The people that aren't going to come in, they're just going to keep on living their life. They're going to keep on smoking their pot. They're going to keep on prostituting. They're going to keep on gang banging. Black on black crime. Brown on brown. Black on brown. Until what? Like, for example, there was a big old volcano eruption in Guatemala. That's the tribe of Zebulun. Hosea 5:15 says, in your affliction shall you seek me early. How much more affliction do the blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans really need? Can we handle more affliction?
Not at all.
Hey, did you see that case about that brother? He got shot by the cops at his own house because he had the music on loud. They gave him $4. They murdered an Israelite. And as a matter of fact, a judge overturned it. He says, no, we're not going to give him the $4. That, how much of that can we tolerate? How many more senseless deaths? But listen, it is our fault. Esau is God's sword. He's just using them to punish us until we repent, brother. Do you have any more questions?
No, brother, that was very edible. Thank you.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this Join IUIC channel to get your latest updates from all our YouTube channels. Shalom.